Hello and welcome to the Indie Crew channel. I'm your host Ghost Waffles, and today we're going to be taking a look at an interesting little game known as Tag: The Power of Paint. It was published by DigiPen Institute of Technology and developed by Tag Team. The game is available on PC completely free of charge. Now with all that being said, let's get into the review. Tag: The Power of Paint is a 3D puzzle platformer where you use different types of spray paints to get around the levels. There's green spray paint which allows you to jump, there's red spray paint that allows you to speed up, and finally there's blue spray paint which allows you to stick to the walls. It's very simple, short, and I've played it around 6 times now and I still haven't gotten bored of it somehow. The controls are very simple and easy to pick up, with WASD being used to move, left click being used to shoot out paint, the scroll wheel being used to select what paint you want, and right click being used to erase the paint. They were responsive, and to be honest, that's all that really matters to me. I really liked this game's mechanic of using different paints with different properties, and trying to figure out how to use them to solve the various platforming challenges was a lot of fun. I also liked how you could combine them to do different things. For example, if you make a trail of red paint but leave some green paint at the bottom of this trail, you can speed up before making a jump so that you can jump across longer distances. There are also some things added to spice the gameplay up, such as moving platforms. Oh wait, that's it. I do appreciate the moving platforms, they managed to make the gameplay a little more interesting, but I would have appreciated it if there had been more stuff like this. The final level in the game introduces these launch pads, but it's the final level, so as soon as you use them, they're gone, which is a bit of a shame because I could see them being used in other levels before it. The art style here is also really cool. It uses this 3D art style with minimal details, which isn't exactly anything stand out, but what I think was really interesting was this game's use of colour. To begin with, all the levels are presented in black and white, but as you spray them with the various paints you need to use, they begin to become really vibrant and colourful. It's almost like you're bringing the dull levels to life. It kind of reminds me of Splatoon in a sense. I have a lot of memories of covering all the Splatoon hub worlds in paint, and this game definitely gave me that same satisfying feeling I got when doing that. I felt that the game handled difficulty rather well. It manages to ramp up the difficulty throughout the various stages in a good balanced manner, and by the time I got up to the final stages, I found that I really had to think hard about how to solve the platforming puzzles. Don't get me wrong, the levels don't get ridiculously difficult. In all honesty, it's not even that hard of a game, but there are certain moments throughout the game where I did have to plan out how to solve the puzzle presented. I also think the game introduced all the paints quite nicely, as they all have individual levels showcasing what they can all do. The soundtrack here was pretty good for the most part. All of the tracks have this electronic vibe, and to be fair, I think they are quite fitting for the game. Unfortunately, some of them are a bit too generic and pretty uninspired in my opinion, but there were some songs that stood out, such as Paint Slinger, Kickstart, Keeping Us Down, Equinox, and Victorious. Now unfortunately, there are a few negatives in this game, but luckily they're nothing too big. First of all, I'm not a big fan of there being no save states. I remember when I first played the game, and I didn't want to finish it because it was pretty late, so I wanted to go to bed. When I went to go play it again the next day, however, I realised I had to play through the entire game again. This wasn't a massive issue to me, but I do understand that this could be a bit tedious and annoying. Luckily the game isn't too long, so trying to catch up to where you left off isn't too hard. In addition to this, there isn't even a level select, which, to be fair, again, isn't too big of an issue. It's just kind of annoying to play the first few levels every time I go back and play the game again. This game is also rather short, with the main game only lasting around 20 minutes, with only 9 levels. Yet again, this game is free, so I can't say I was expecting it to last long, but it is a bit of a shame that it ends so suddenly and quickly. Like, I genuinely wouldn't mind paying to see a more full version of this, with different spray paints, more levels, and maybe even some new mechanics. There is kinda bonus content with this little free play room you can go into as the credits for the game roll. Here, you can mess around with all the different paints and just do whatever you want. Unfortunately though, this room isn't very big, and there isn't exactly a lot of platforming stuff for you to do, which is a bit of a shame. Now before I wrap up this review, I do just want to take a moment to talk about the menu, and why I think it's pretty cool. You see, it's an interactive menu, and I really like when games make their menus interactive. It just adds a little bit of charm that I always love to see. In this game, you're able to spray paint over all the buildings and things in the background, to make them look nice and colourful. Once again, it reminds me of when I used to cover the Splatoon hub worlds in Paint. And that'll be it for my review of Tag the Power of Paint. I'll be giving this game a review score of 6 out of 10. This game is just very fun to play, and whilst it has its negatives, they're very small, and don't take away from the entertainment value that this game sets out to offer. If you're still watching, then thanks a lot. I want to give a big thank you to Silver for this video's thumbnail art, and if you want to get updates on our videos, or just want a place to chat with fellow indie game enjoyers, then our community Discord server will be linked in the description below, along with Silver's socials. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.